Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today and welcome to this educational presentation where I'm excited to talk to you about actually what is your last chance for the new and improved strategy number 7. This is a brand new strategy we have. It's updated and it's been really reformatted to be much simpler and to have higher probability results. And we are going to be giving a live class on how to actually learn all of the rules, which will be next week. So this is actually your last chance to sign up at these lower prices as well and to attend the live class with yours truly. Now, let me share with you how powerful this new strategy is. Let's take a look here at this fairly recent chart in the spiders. That's the ETF that represents the S&P 500. Now, looking at this, someone would say, well, actually, we're going down. This is a textbook lower highs, lower lows. So we're in a downtrend, Steve, right? We should stay away from this. But what I'm going to be teaching you in the course, all of the rules, you would have known this was not the beginning or included within a downtrend, but this was actually a buying opportunity. This is what we call a shallow pullback, just a sell off anywhere from 3 to 5 days or 3 to 5 bars, actually. And so within that shallow pullback, knowing the rules that I'll teach you in the course, you would have seen a buy signal right here at the end of October. And look what happened to the market right after that. Now, even if you didn't want to trade the spiders, the ETF that represents the S&P 500, you could have used this as a market directional tool, meaning that if there's going to be a rally in the ETF that represents S&P 500, well, it stands to reason that there's going to be a rally in the market. So you could have purchased that stock that maybe you were interested in, or maybe purchased some options. It's up to you. But this is the power behind the new and improved strategy number 7. Now, even though you're going to learn all the rules, this is not a black box system where you have no idea what it's based off of. You just click the arrows and find out if you should buy or sell. You're going to learn all the rules. And on top of that, all the signals are already auto-identified on our PTS Primo charting platform. So everything is one click away. You'll be able to see where these signals are, even though you'll know exactly what they're based on. So welcome, my name is Stephen Primo. I'm the president and founder of Specialist Trading. I've been trading now for 47 years, going on 48 in just a month or so. I started my career on the floor of the Pacific Stock Exchange. I was on the floor for 16 years, and 9 of those years I was a specialist. Specialist is someone who makes markets in roughly about 50 or 60 stocks. So I did that for all my time I was there, also during the crash of 87 and the bull market that followed. So in my 47 years of trading, I know what works in terms of consistency and I know what doesn't work. So that's why I teed up with Pro Trader Strategies with one goal in mind: to teach traders around the world how to make their own decisions based off of the service we provide, by providing you with high probability setups and strategies, indicators, techniques that have high levels of consistency. And that's what we will be doing in the strategy number 7 course, which once again will begin starting next week. Now, I'm going to go into detail and share with you a lot of examples of strategy number 7 in just a few minutes. But before we begin, we're required to share this with you. So please take a moment to view our disclaimer. I'm going to show you a lot of performance results by applying strategy number 7. But please remember that we can in no way guarantee that any of the results I'm about to share with you will be repeated in the future. And since we are an educational company, all examples I'm about to show you are strictly for educational purposes only. Now, if you like more education on a daily basis, please feel free to follow us on Twitter or X, however you like to call it. Every day I post between 5 to 7 different snapshots of signals that our methods or techniques or strategies have generated. I also give you little bits of financial wisdom every day on Twitter, or you can follow us and subscribe to YouTube. Now, this is being live streamed on YouTube right now. If you'd like to see more of this content, please click the subscribe button on YouTube, and we'll have many more live videos for you on that as well. Okay, so let's begin today's educational presentation, and we're going to be talking about the course that's upcoming next week, and that's our new strategy number 7. So what exactly do we mean by new? Okay, because I know some people have seen this before. Well, let me share with you some of the highlights. It's our new and improved strategy, and the main reason why it's new and improved is because you can now apply it to all markets and timeframes. You see, we actually first promoted this strategy about a decade ago, but it was only for a specific market, the E-mini futures and mainly intraday futures. But we know not everyone trades intraday E-mini futures. And so we improved it to take out some of the noise and also to make it a higher probability setup for all markets and all time frames. And through this research and through the application process, we've seen that it has even better setups than it did before. Please remember, though, that this is a full-fledged strategy. It's totally different from indicators we may have like the PET-D or the buy-sell line, in that those are just mainly tools telling you the trend or telling you what direction the market wants to go, but they don't really give you full-fledged structure. With strategy number 7, you'll know exactly where to enter, where to exit, and where to place your stop, and where to actually monitor the trade. Now, it's designed now to identify these shallow pullbacks. These are usually when we have a counter trend about 1 to 5 bars in any time frame. And most people think, well, that's the beginning of a new trend to either to the downside or to the upside. But what the rules of strategy 7 now do is identify that this is just a shallow pullback or buying or selling opportunity, depending on which direction the market is going, for you to get in at either lower or higher prices. Now, it's based on an open, high, low, close 2 pattern model. Now, normally, all of our strategies or techniques that are pattern-based are just based on one specific pattern. But here we're combining 2 specific patterns. That's where we really improved it and took out a lot of the noise. Now, because it's applied to these shallow pullbacks, meaning that if you wanted to buy, you'll be buying at lower prices, it makes it ideal for option trading. Because if you like to trade options, well, you'll know that the premiums will be much less if you're purchasing at a lower price. Or if you're selling short, you know that the premiums for puts or some type of spread strategy to the downside will be much less if you're purchasing the puts at a higher price. And then lastly, in the course, you'll not only learn the conservative way to apply strategy number 7, but you'll also learn aggressive ways to trade it. So you're going to get a lot of information in this course. In fact, I've been putting this course together for the past 2 weeks, and I have a ton of information to share with you. It's really one of our most detailed courses. And once again, that begins just next week. Okay, so let me share with you some examples. Let's start off with buys, okay? These just happened recently, and a lot of these you may have seen, either I tweeted about or either you've seen in the marketplace, but you would not have known that they were actually strategy number 7 buy signals as well. And remember, everything you're seeing is displayed coming from the PTS Primo Charting platform. You'll only find these auto-identified setups on the PTS Primo Charting platform I developed with ProTrader strategies. All right, let's look at this chart here in TMUS, okay? This is T-Mobile. Someone looking at this would say, hey, Steve, we're in an uptrend. Look at all these higher closes and we're going up. But then look what happens. The next 2 days, we kind of go down lower. Someone would say, well, I guess that's it. We broke a nice uptrend, so it's time to get out of your position, take your profits and run. But this was actually just a shallow pullback. Just these 2 bars that went lower were not a selling opportunity. They were a buying opportunity. If you wanted to get back in, well, we click on strategy number 7, click on signal arrows on our platform, and you would have identified a buy signal right here. So this was not the beginning of a downward move. This was actually a buy signal, and the stock took off the next day, just 12 points in 1 day trade. Here's another example in Amazon, kind of going a little drifting higher to sideways, and then we have 1 down day. Once again, this is where traders say, time to get out. Look at that. We opened towards the high and then closed much lower. That's a reversal. We have to get out of this. But what I'll teach you in the course, you would have known that this was not the beginning of a downward trend or time to exit with a profit. It was actually a shallow pullback. Now, you want to check your work on our platform because you know all the rules. Just to check your work to see if you're learning and identifying correctly, click on strategy number 7, click on signal arrows. And if you were correct in identifying a signal, you'll see an up arrow. And you are correct right there. That is actually a buy signal. Now, look what happened. The stock went higher in the next week. Now, let me share with you one thing that I'm going to be teaching in the course. This is just a standard conservative way of exiting. One of the ways to exit is to look at the most previous high, which would, going back after you purchased it, would be down up here, okay? And so one of the quick ways, if you like to get in and out conservatively, would be to exit once price goes back to the recent short-term high, if it either trades there or above. And here it gapped open above, so Guess what? There's your exit. And in roughly about a week, you made a nice 10-point gain. Very simple, very easy, low stress, and hardly any risk at all. Okay. Now, look what happened after that. Gap down. Now, at this point, you're saying, boy, that was great. I got out. I got a nice profit before it went all the way back down. But this is not time to simply walk away and count your profits, because you're still in the game. Remember, this is just a one-day shallow pullback. And there was another buy signal generated there, which you could have taken advantage of. If you wanted to exit, go back to the most recent high, which is right here. And another gap up where you could have potentially made 12 points. So this is combining two different ways to enter, two different ways to exit. And I'll teach you all of this within the course. Let's look at Dash, okay? The stock had been rising very nicely up until last month, October, and then it started to go sideways. Maybe you would say, well, maybe it's making a ledge, or maybe it's a high-level consolidation, or maybe it's just getting ready to curl over. So you're saying to yourself, well, I won't do anything until it breaks out of here, okay? But if you learn the rules of strategy 7, well, you would have known that there was a buy signal well before you had to wait for it to break out. And even though nothing has happened for the last 5-6 days, look what eventually happened. It kicked in. Now, here's another example of a way to exit. This is totally different from the one I just shared with you. This is a more aggressive way to exit, and you would have been able to exit on this bar right here at the opening for a nice 15-point gain. Let's look at this example in Google. Once again, kind of consolidating. Is it going to go higher? Is it going to go lower? But we see here that these last 2 days were actually buy signals. Just off those last 2 down days, buy signals were generated where you thought, well, maybe it's going lower. And there you have a really nice upward move. Now, using that same aggressive exiting tool, which I'll teach you in the course, you could have exited at the opening and had a nice 18-point gain in just about a week, okay? And look what happened after that. So these are all techniques and methods I will teach you in the upcoming course. Here's an example in Honeywell, all right? The stock has been going down for about 5 or 6 bars or days here, but within that shallow pullback, 2 buy signals were generated, okay? Now, nothing much happened after the signals were generated, but then it kicked in, and you could have potentially captured 20 points in the next 2 to 3 weeks. You see how we're looking at these shallow pullbacks as buying opportunities, where most traders are on the wrong side and they look at them as selling opportunities. Here's an example in Lulu. Once again, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 down days, but this was just once again a shallow pullback. And on the lowest closing day, a buy signal was generated. This was coming into this month. And look what happened. 20 points in 1 day. One of the things I've noticed with strategy number 7 is that because of these shallow pullbacks, you'll get really quick feedback. You'll know right away if the trade is going to take off in the next, I would say, week or so. So if you're the type of trader that doesn't like to be in trades too long, this is a great strategy to trade with. Now, if you do like to be in trades for a longer period of time, well, you can do that as well. Now, looking back at ADP, going all the way back to this summer in August, we see that this has been in a standard uptrend. How could we have taken advantage of it? If we're looking to buy at lower levels in a shallow pullback, well, these are these levels right here, right? So how could we have taken advantage of these lower levels? Well, simple. With strategy 7, buy signals were generated at each of these small little shallow pullbacks. And once again, you could have held on and taken a quick profit and got out, got back in, quick profit and out, got back in, quick profit and out. Or you could have stayed in and held on the entire time. It's up to you, and we teach you all of this in the course. You can apply the same thing to an entirely different market. Here's a 4-hour chart of the Canadian dollar. Same process, we're going higher. How could we have bought at these little sell-offs here? Well, look at the buy signal strategy 7 generated. Now, this is on a 4-hour chart. So if you've taken the first signals right here and held on, well, that's roughly 130 pips you could have potentially taken advantage of, and that's roughly about $1,300. Or you could have simply bought, exited, bought, exited, bought, exited, and so on. It's entirely up to you how you want to trade it. Another shallow pullback, this is GJT. This is on a 10-minute time frame. So if you're an intraday trader and you like to intraday trade stocks or other markets, well, guess what? Look at this 10-minute time frame. Shallow pullback here. Someone would say, well, wow, this thing is falling out of bed, but a buy signal was generated here. This was just coming into this month. And in 2 hours, you could have potentially captured 7 points. That's not a bad little gain in just a couple of hours. That was on a 10-minute time frame. Or you can look at a monthly time frame. If you're an investor, these are all strategy number 7 signals on monthly bars. Now, nothing happened for like the 5 or 6 or 7 months, but look what happened eventually, 115 points to the upside. So you see, it doesn't matter what time frame or what direction. In fact, let's take a look now at some sell examples. We know that not everyone likes to go short, but let's say you're the type of trader that only likes to go long. Well, you could use these sell signals as an exiting tool if you'd like. Or if you're more aggressive, you can use them to go short or buy puts. Here's an example in CDW. Looks like nothing's happening, right? In fact, someone would say, hey, this is support, Steve. I took that $10,000 course on support and resistance, and this is major, major support. All the institutions are buying. Well, what did strategy 7 say? Once again, you know all the rules, and perhaps you see a signal here. So you want to check your work, click on strategy 7 to see if you're right. Click on signal arrows. And you were right. A sell signal was generated right here. So where you originally thought there was support, institutional support, this was actually just a shallow pullback, just this 1 or 2 day bounce. And look what happened after that. What happened to that support? Okay. Stock went down 30 points in the next 2 days. That's why I said mainly, most of the time, not guaranteed, but most of the time, because we're basing this off a shallow pullback, a very short-term pullback, you'll see results in the next 2 to 5 days. Now look at this chart in Adobe. Someone looking at this would say, hey, Steve, this is a pivot low. You got to use this as support. I'm not going to do anything until it breaks below. I'm going to stay long. But just this 1, 2, 3 day rise actually was, if you check your work and click on signal arrows, this was actually a shallow pullback to the upside, and that was a sell signal. So where you thought there was major support right here on the pivot, this was actually telling you, no, time to go short. You could have taken advantage of this sell signal in Adobe and taken advantage of 40 points to the downside the next 2 to 3 weeks. Okay, let's look at IDXX. Kind of going lower to sideways. It's hard to tell what direction. We had the last 3 days we're closing on the upside. So you say, well, the buyers are back. And actually, we have a little bounce here where it goes higher. So you say, you know what? I think maybe it's time to get back in. But going through the requirements that I'll teach you, this 1 day bounce was simply a shallow pullback. A shallow pullback can even just be 1 bar. It makes no difference. So a sell signal was generated, and look what happened. 70 points to the downside in the next 3 weeks, okay? Someone looking at this is a daily chart of the euro yen, a totally different market. We're looking at currency pairs now, would say, hey, we're starting an uptrend, Steve. I went to that chat room where we follow the forex markets, and we said, sure, we were going lower, but look at this. We have a reversal right here, a bullish engulfing pattern, and the next day is higher. So this is the beginning of an up move. Not really. This is actually a strategy 7 signal. This was just a 2 day shallow pullback to the upside. So now we're selling, and look what happened. 550 pips in the next 2 weeks. That's over $5,500 per unit you could have taken advantage of. Now remember, we looked at that 10-minute chart in DJT where you would have had a nice little upward move, 7 points in a couple of hours. Well, here's a couple of days later. We're looking at this same 10-minute chart, and we have a downward trend here on a 10-minute time frame. And look what happened. We broke out. Time to go long, right? Intraday trader, buy at the market. Well, this 1 day bounce, or should say 10-minute bounce, was simply a shallow pullback. All it takes is 1 bar. Strategy 7 generated a sell signal and 8 points in just 1 hour. So potentially, just trading a 10-minute time frame, you could have taken advantage of 15 points in just a couple of maybe 3 hours tops. That's how powerful this new and improved strategy number 7 is. As we look at BIIB, once again, in hindsight, this is where you'd like to go short, or maybe if you were long, you say to yourself, gosh, I wish I would have known to sell this. How did I know? Well, simply apply strategy number 7 because you want to get out on these little bounces. And look at all these sell signals you could have taken advantage of. Had you taken these 2 right here and held on, 50 points coming into this month, November. Or if you'd taken those sell signals to exit, you would have saved yourself 50 points. And one more example on REGN, we realize it's an expensive stock, but just to show you that it makes no difference what time frame or the price of the stock. We looked at a 10-minute time frame. Now let's look at the daily charts, REGN, going lower, and then looks like we're firming up and we're starting a nice upward trend, okay? But this is a shallow pullback. And this is something to take advantage of, either to go short or to exit a long position. You check your work here, click on signal arrows, and we had 3 chances to exit right here, right around the same price. And look what happened. The stock fell 190 points coming into this month, November. Now, obviously, something happened here where it gapped down on some news or some announcement. We knew a full 2 to 3 weeks in advance to get out. That's the beauty of strategy number 7, based on this open, high, low, close, 2-pattern system. If you're a pullback trader, meaning like you like to buy at lower levels to go long, or you like to sell at higher levels, you can't afford to not trade with the new and improved strategy number 7. Okay, let me tell you about this great discount we have, because we're going to be starting the course once again next week. We have a few spots left open before we actually close the live class. We're going to be offering you the new and improved strategy number 7. Okay, you're going to get the new and improved trading version designed to identify these shallow pullbacks. All right, reduce noise and whipsaws based on this 2-pattern model. You can apply to any market, any time frame. So I know a lot of traders say, well, Steve, I trade multiple markets. Do I have to change things for the different markets? Absolutely not. Everything is the same. The strategy rules are the same. Now, we'll teach you both an aggressive way to trade it, if you're an aggressive trader, or a conservative way to trade it. 2 entirely different versions. As well, if you're an option trader, this is an ideal strategy to trade for options, okay? Now, everything you saw today was being displayed on the PTS Primo charting platform. We made it simple. With 1 click, you can check your work to see if there's a strategy number 7 signal that was generated. So we're going to be offering you, if you decide to become a student of mine in the course, we'll give you a full year free of the platform. So with 1 click, you'll be able to see where these signals are. Remember, this is a full-fledged strategy. This is not an indicator. This is not something where you know what the trend is. This is something telling you exactly where to buy, exactly where to sell, exactly where to place your stop. And it's all 1 click away on our platform. Now, with the platform, you'll get more than just strategy number 7. You'll get our buy-sell line indicator. This tells you the overall trend instantly of any market and any time frame. You'll get a strength of trend tool. At the same time, it will tell you the strength of the trend. You know if there's more room to the upside or downside, or if it's running out of steam. You get over 90 of the most prominent technical indicators. One of those aggressive ways to exit, that's our automatic exit levels. You'll get that automatically on the platform. But guess what? The best thing I think about our platform, along with the dozens and dozens of features that you won't find anywhere else, is the signal scanner. Because you can actually scan for the strategy number 7 signals, either intraday or on a nightly basis. Let me share with you what I mean here. This was announced just about a month ago. This was on Yahoo Finance, okay? On October 30th, they said Snap Incorporated surprises with strong third quarter results and $500 million buyback program, okay? Snap's Q3 earnings reported exceeded analyst expectations, highlighting the company's resilience in navigating a competitive market. In fact, the increase in user engagement and advertising revenues reflects Snap's ability to adapt and innovate, making it a compelling choice for investors looking for growth in the tech sector. So, shares of the company, SNAP, surged 14.83% in midday trading on October 30th. So great news, right? Here's a chart showing you when that news happened. Here's the trouble. Most traders wait for news to come out, and by the time it comes out, you're buying either at a very high level or selling to go short or exiting the position at a very low level. Because the news, it's too late. By the time that hits the wire, the stock's going to gap up or gap down the way you see here. Here's the beauty of strategy number 7. It's not based on any news events at all. So you don't have to rely on news if you don't want to. It's based on this open, high, low, close, 2-pattern model. And oftentimes it will generate signals before the news comes out in the correct direction. So for example, if you had chosen strategy number 7, and clicked on scan, you would have seen on the night of the 22nd, a buy signal was generated a full week or more in advance of that news event. So you could have taken advantage of this simply by scanning, using the scanner on the PTS Primo charting platform the night before. If you're still undecided, you say, well, okay, but I can still figure that out myself. Well, let me share with you something that happened this week. Here's another example. Now, this time we're looking at AI. Now, this just happened, I believe, on the 13th, or actually later than that. So this was just this past week or so. And I tweeted about this on our Twitter account. It looks like the stock is doing nothing, right? It's kind of going sideways. And most traders looking at this would say, well, I'm not going to do anything in this. It's, not giving me any indication. There's no trend. It's just kind of in a range. So I'm not going to do anything. In fact, right after that, look what happened. It went down. So you say to yourself, okay, well, it broke the range. So I'll probably stay away from this thing. It's probably going to go lower. I'll wait till I get a better signal from it, or I'll look for something else. Here's the beauty with strategy number 7. You could have scanned and seen that this was not a breakdown in the stock. This was actually a shallow pullback. So with the scanning process, you would have been able to find that there were 2 signals. You could have scanned for the 14th and seen a buy signal was generated, or on the 15th, another buy signal was generated. And then look what happened on the 18th and the 19th. Okay, now this was just Monday and Tuesday of this week. So just the last 2 days. The stock took off. Now, what happened to breaking down out of that range? Okay. Now, obviously, some news came out to make it go up. It's funny how strategy number 7, which is not based on any fundamental news, gave you a 2 to 3 day warning to get in and alerted you that there was most likely going to be a nice move. So this is the beauty of strategy number 7. This just happened 2 days ago. Okay, so let's break it down. You're going to get the new and improved trading version. Identify these shallow pullbacks, apply to any market, any time frame. Our regular price is close to $5,000. That's how powerful this method is. And as I can tell you, the examples you've just seen, this is how powerful it is, because it's really been improved to take out a lot of the noise and to really help you with these shallow pullbacks. So we're going to discount it down $500 to $44.95. You're going to save 10%, but we'll give you another option. We realize that $44.95 may be a little bit too much for some traders. So for a limited time, we'll also have payment plans. So you don't have to come up with $44.95. You can come up with a fraction of $44.95, establish a payment plan, and you can still be up and running. You can get all the information today. You can get the platform assembled and downloaded onto your PC or laptop today, and you can be in my class next week. But remember, this is for a limited time, and this includes whichever way you decide to go. If you want to buy in full and take the 10% discount of $44.95, or to take the payment plan, you'll still get a full 12-month free of the platform. Okay, here's how to take advantage of this. Be one of the first to trade with the new and improved strategy number 7. By the way, no one has traded this other than myself. So I'm the only one trading it. I'm getting some really nice results. I'm using it on intraday E-mini trading, but you can use it on any market, any time frame you like, okay? So in order to be one of the first, contact my sister site, protraderstrategies.com. I would recommend giving them a call at area code 310-598-6677. Trading consultants are manning the phones right now. They would be happy to take your order, to sign you up for the class, or they can give you a quote on a payment plan if you like. If you're more interested in finding out what the payment plan would be, there's absolutely no obligation. But remember, you have to take advantage of this. This is for a limited time only. And then most likely, both of those prices will either increase or be gone, and they'll be much higher. So if you're really serious about using this great new and improved method, contact Pro Trader Strategies. Now that link you see at the bottom is the link that will take you to the info page. You can actually sign up on that as well. It's not a live link, but I believe a link was posted on the chat box. So if you go to the chat little icon, click that on, and you'll see that there's a live link there, okay? I'll take questions now. I'm going to leave this up here. I see I'm getting a question already. So if you have any questions, go to the chat box or go to the question and answer, and I'll answer them. Someone's asking right now, can you incorporate the PET-D into the strategy? Now, the PET-D is, once again, another tool that is a short-term trend identifier, there is actually no real any type of advantage to these two. They're not the same type of tools. We have found, I've experimented with both of them, trust me, because I, been researching this new strategy number 7 for the past year or two. And I've tried it with other tools. I don't really find any correlation. So, not to say that there maybe isn't one that we haven't found yet. A lot of times our students find things that we haven't, but I personally have been experimenting with the PET-D and I haven't found anything yet. So it's entirely up to you if you'd like to, but you can use strategy number 7 as a hands-on alone tool strategy if you'd like. There's no need to, at this point, to feel you have to incorporate it with anything else. Okay, the results have been really powerful without us enhancing it with other tools at this time. Okay, not to say that it won't change in the future, but right now it's a standalone type of strategy. Next question, when does the class start? I believe the class is going to be this Tuesday, because with the holiday coming up for Thanksgiving, we know a lot of people may leave Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday out of town. So with the holiday, we're going to have it early. We usually have it on Fridays. We would have it on Tuesday, roughly about 10 a.m. PST. Okay. Does the strategy give stop and reverse signals? Well, the strategy just gives signals. It's up to you if you want to take stop and reverse. So in other words, the strategy may give a buy signal, and then later on, it may give a sell signal where you haven't concluded the initial signal. It's up to you, but it's been my experience that most of the time, because of the way it's formatted, it doesn't alter back and forth between buy signal and sell signal. They're not too close together. So if you want to stop and reverse, you can, but it's entirely up to you. If they're just two independent signals, as we see as of right now. Okay. How long is the actual class? The class is usually running anywhere from 1 to 3 hours. This is probably going to be in the middle about 2 hours, but that actually is a pretty long one, because usually when I've given classes in the past before, we're looking at multiple different things, as someone's stated here, using different indicators and stuff. This is just a standalone way to trade strategy 7, and I just have a ton of information to share with you. Once again, you're going to learn how to trade it aggressively as well as conservatively. You'll learn aggressive entries, conservative entries. You'll learn aggressive stops, conservative stops, just a host of different ways in which to trade it. And I'll show you a ton of examples as well. Okay. What about guarantee that whatever you're showing or saying recap is truly working? Well, that's something you would focus on with pro trader strategies. They're in charge of all the any type of guarantees or the software or pricing or things of that nature. My sole mission is simply to teach you the courses and to work with you side by side so that you fully understand how to apply it to any market you're trading. In terms of pricing, guarantees, things of that nature, that's something you'd have to work out with Pro Trader Strategy. So that's a good reason to give them a call, okay? Because once again, there's no obligation. They're there to work with you. They're not. You can't just talk to them unless you want to buy something. They're very friendly, and they give you a quote if you're interested. The only thing I would say is, if you're really interested, make a decision quickly, because class starts this Tuesday, okay? Any other questions? More than welcome. Thank you. Someone said they love our strategies, and you're more than welcome, okay? This is another great one. This is one, like I said, we had for a while, but I wasn't happy with the results, and I wasn't happy with something just in one market. So we formatted it to fit all markets, all time frames. And on top of that, we took a lot of the noise and a lot of the whipsaw action out. So if you're all interested, contact Pro Trader Strategies, give them a call at 310-598-6677. Now, as we conclude and take one last look at our, I should say I went the wrong way. Here we are. Take one last look at our disclaimer. Thank you so much for attending. I really hope I see you all in class, and I hope to see you all this next Tuesday in the live class course, okay? Thanks for attending. I'll see you in the Strategy 7 course. Have a great day. Bye-bye.